As the world remembers Pope St. John Paul II today, a new book is celebrating his life and holy legacy. 100 Ways John Paul II Changed the World by Catholic author Patrick Novecosky takes a look at the Pope's accomplishments and his enduring influence. Patrick Novecosky joins me now on Skype. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tracy, great to be with you.
So, Patrick, we know that Pope St. John Paul II is such a revered and beloved figure. What stands out most to you in terms of his legacy?
He was real, loved the human contact and being with people. World Youth Day is one great example. He drew millions and millions of people. He traveled the world. He was seen by more people than anyone who ever existed in human history. But more than that, I think he was very accessible. I met him 5 times, and so many people had the chance to meet him in person. He blessed sick people during his Wednesday audiences. He blessed newlyweds. I happened to be one of the newlyweds with my wife in 2002 to have that great experience. So he just loved for the human person and his amazing prayer life that just kind of powered everything, like a nuclear reactor that charged everything that he did.
Yeah, just so amazing. Let's talk about the influence that his upbringing had on him. What role do you think that had in molding him and the way that he viewed the world?
Sure, massive influence. His mother died when he was 9 years old. His father took him to the shrine of Yasna Gora, Our Lady of Czestochowa, the Black Madonna. He said, "This is your mother now." And he took Mary as his mother, and his whole life was devoted to Our Lady, knowing that that's the surest path to Jesus. And he taught that through his entire pontificate, throughout his priesthood. His father died when he was just before he turned 21, and he was essentially left orphaned. His friends thought that he would become a great actor, but after his father's passing, his father was a man of deep prayer, and his cause for canonization is now open. But his father really showed him had a regimented prayer life and a very well-disciplined life, and that was really stuck with John Paul his entire life as well.
And Patrick, I know that he was deeply devoted to the Rosary. In 2002, he released an apostolic letter entitled The Rosary of the Virgin Mary. How significant was the Rosary to him and his spiritual life? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was rare that you would see the Holy Father without a rosary in his hand. There are many amazing images of him holding the rosary during his quiet time. He would go for walks in the Vatican gardens or even on his travels around the world praying the rosary. He suggested to us in that letter that you mentioned that we're missing some mysteries of Jesus' life, his public ministry. He suggested that, and the vast majority of Catholics really embraced it. He also had declared a year of the Rosary in 87, 88, and a year of the Rosary, a year of Mary, I should say, back in the 80s. So his devotion to Our Lady to the Rosary was through his entire life.
Yeah, and I know he is also remembered for his ability to connect with people and, of course, his gentleness of spirit. You mentioned that you met him on several occasions. Can we talk a little bit more about that and what that experience was like for you?
Sure. I was a young journalist in Stockbridge, Massachusetts, working for the National Shrine of Divine Mercy Marian Helpers Center. And there was a raffle, and I won a trip for 2 to Cancun. I asked the travel agent if I could change that for a trip to Rome. And that turned into a cascade of events that led me to meeting the Holy Father. The Marians are a Polish order of priests and brothers that were essentially behind the Iron Curtain through the communist era, the Soviet era. And so they had a great connection with the Holy Father and allowed me the privilege of meeting him once. And that turned into 5 separate meetings, 3 private audiences, and 2 in the square, including my nuptial blessing 11 days after I got married in 2002.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your experiences with us and talking a little bit more about your book. We really appreciate it. Patrick Novecosky, author of 100 Ways John Paul II Changed the World. Thanks again, Patrick.
Thanks, Tracy.